So in this game, looks like I'm on the dire, and it's all pick, and my team pick a bunch of strength heroes. Well, first that guy has an intel hero, then he repicks it. Here's your Pudge. Well, that one's the bad manner one, the Pudge. So now these are the radiant. They got a ranged, and then a couple melee, and then another ranged. Well, mine were all melee, right? So I picked a ranged.
30 seconds to battle.
And I think I told Pudge, I need that middle lane. Because it's the only way we're going to win. Because I can really take advantage of having that golden experience advantage. So he defers to my wisdom. And the game begins. I was actually not quite expecting Ogre Magi to be middle, but he was middle. So we duke it out. Fine, whatever. Ogre Magi is not a bad middle. Despite what some people might think, he could be a really good hero, and he is actually a really good hero in this game. To see the power of Ogre Magi. Which is not exactly the way I would play him, I suppose, but he does pretty good, I guess. Anyway. They already have a kill. They killed Pudge. Guess Pudge was used to being middle and not used to fighting against two heroes, huh? Well, you gotta do something about that, because sometimes a different hero is better middle, or even a different player. Now what's happening? Maiden's pausing the game for Drow, gets Drow disconnected. And blue is typing Mata Avadian, which I don't know what that means. I think it's Portuguese or something. Anyways, Magnus bottle is a regeneration rune. So it's good. We got safe rune advantage here. I'm not really a fan of bottle. I mean, go ahead and grab the rune, but there are better options on Magnus. So up here we got Skeleton King and Pudge. Skeleton King's pretty good. He's not doing so hot right now, but he's got a bad lane partner, a bad mannered Pudge, so what else can he do? Just everything he can. He's got Vampiric Aura, which is great. I've seen a lot of noobs not take Vampiric Aura. It's a mistake, because how else are you gonna heal? I mean, yeah, you can have tangos, but I mean, all the extra healing you can have is good. Even just one Vampiric Aura makes a huge difference in getting more healing. Around here, I have Magnus, who's doing alright. I would say early game, though. He doesn't have enough mana, maybe, to justify leveling all three of his primary abilities. Maybe you should just level 2 of them. But, if the guy's going Arcane Boots as your ally, then his lane partner is not that big of a deal. I mean, because after all, they do all have mana costs. But anyway, his big failing isn't in particular which abilities he's learning, but his item build. He doesn't have any plus strength, so he doesn't have any extra health. So he just dies to burst damage. As for me, as an agility hero, I have +4 strength. Why doesn't he have at least that? Doesn't make sense to me. And this is an interesting scene. I'm not sure if I would have been able to kill him but I might have if I didn't run back at that last second. He was bloodlusted, so he was moving faster than me, maybe. Or just as fast. Actually, as I moved around, I had to turn around to attack him. And in that time, he got another attack in at me. Because all he had to do is move forward and attack. So, but he died to the tower, and I got credit for the kill, I believe. But I didn't get the experience, that sucked. But he had a haste rune, what else was I supposed to do? Right, yeah, that's why he was able to move faster. I wasn't thinking properly. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll kite him. He was not only moving fast, but also attacking fast, wasn't he? No. But I was moving slower because I was ignited, that's what it was. Right. Anyways. At this point, he's 4-1. He's got an ally 1-1, another ally 1-1, while another ally is 0-3. So they're not totally stomping us, but they do have a pretty nice advantage because we got like a 0-1, 2-2, 0-1, 1-1, 1-3. So we only got 2 guys that are doing pretty good, whereas they got 3 guys that are doing pretty good. So that's kind of the way it works, I guess, when one team has an advantage. And then Drow Ranger gets killed. Tide Hunter getting kills. Drow, another kill, sure. So it's 11-5 at this point. What am I doing? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to help out any way I can. But I think I almost died to Tide. But I survived. By getting into the trees. So what do we got with Crystal Maiden? She's got a lot of strength, really. It's a pretty nice build, but 2 bracers might be a bit much for your normal hero. But I guess it doesn't hurt to have extra intel, which is what bracers will provide. I just think it's not cost efficient. Like you could buy Belt of Giant Strength, and it's cheaper than a bracer. It provides the same strength value. It won't give you any damage, it won't give you any agility, it won't give you any intelligence, but hey, you could buy cheaper stuff. You could buy 3 gauntlets for the same price as a belt, and then that's not item efficient, right? Item slot efficient. But that would provide more strength. Anyway, the important thing is staying alive by any means possible. I'm not sure this Drow Ranger was going for that when she had all this agility. She's +1 strength, +30 agility, +1 intelligence. Okay. Like, I know 15 of that is her ultimate, but still, kind of silly. So anyways, we got Magnus here in the jungle, getting ganked hard. And then there's the tower under siege. So here I am with my Yasha, Ring of Aquila, Tranquil, Gauntlet, and Iron Branch. I figure, well, if they're gonna have that tower anyway, because we didn't have enough people. Once Skeleton came in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna fight. But it wasn't a good enough fight. And I'd already used my stun, I guess, or I didn't have enough mana, I couldn't stun her at any rate. While she was using her ultimate, so that was unfortunate. I'm just gonna run away, try to survive. So at this point, I'm like 2-1 and 0. Pudge is 2-4-0. 2-4-3 Magnus. 0-2-1 Skeleton King. 0-3-1 Kunkka. So I've got 1 point in teamwork, or team contribution. Pudge has -2. Magnus has 1 point. Skeleton King has -1. And Kunkka has -1. So not very good scores. But check out Ogre Magi. He's got 8. Crystal 0. Drow 2. Tidehunter 9. And Void 4. So they got way better teamwork than us right now. I mean, their numbers are way higher than ours. Like 9. We don't have anyone in. We don't even have. Like our highest is. What is it? 1 for Magnus and 1 for me. So even though we have half their score on the set 14-7, if you count our total team contribution, we're nowhere near half. We're just doing terrible as a team. So if you look at it on the grand scale of things, so far it's looking to be a stomp. Like they're really tearing us apart, right? But then I make another kill, which is good. See, and sometimes you can't take your ultimate. Your skill order has to flow with the game, especially when you're a hero like Vengeful Spirit. Sometimes you just absolutely can't have your ultimate. It doesn't do anything early. You have to get it later. But other times you definitely want it at level 6 for sure. Just definitely depends on the game. And in this case, I would have done absolutely nothing if I had it. So I already used my stun, yeah, and I couldn't use it again for a little while. Ultimate. So that was smart of her, noticing that I popped it. But between me and Skeleton, we pushed back their team. And around this time, I was giving Pudge a big lecture, telling him that he wasn't doing his job as a tanker, and neither was the rest of our team. And then Skeleton King stepped up and decided to be a man and show me that at least he was trying. So that was good. So at this point I was able to afford an ultimate orb, so that now if this was the old patch I would already have like a Manta and like another 150 gold, but I'd have to save up even more than that. You need 900 gold for the recipe. So I might have bought something else before I finished the Manta, I'm not sure. But anyways, over here we got Void with his Maelstrom, which is pretty good for him. Makes him attack faster. Some more magic damage. And then Tidehunter, what's he doing? He's teleporting, and he's got a Blink Dagger and Arcane. I hate this build on Tide. A lot of people love it, but I don't like it. He's too squishy. Yeah. What else do we got? Drow. She's got a broadsword. So I guess she's going for early critical strike. I would normally get something else before critical strike. Some people prefer Shadow Blade. I like Sange and Yasha. I'm not sure how I'll feel about the new Drow though. She's got a huge tweak. And Shadow Blade's going to be more powerful than it was before. But then so arguably will be other items. But anyways. Anything with agility is going to be stronger. That's for sure. Like, much stronger. So anyways, I killed Drow Ranger quite easily. My level was higher than hers, I believe. She didn't have all her skills maxed out. Yeah, she was only level 10. So I had quite the advantage on her. That brought me to 7-1-1. The team contribution is now sitting on 7. Magnus, he's still at 1. 265. Right. Pudge, he's at -1. Skeleton King, he's at 3. So that's definitely better than earlier. I think it was like -2 or something. So yeah, his team contribution rose by 5, whereas mine only increased by, what, 6? So that's good. And then Kunkka is kind of about the same. He's like -1. Then Magnus' score drops further. Magnus is just a really bad player. He's not good at all. Don't copy what he does for Magnus. Now this situation, I wasn't quick enough in telling Skeleton King I wanted him to run away. I was trying to save him because he was way over here. I was over here, and our base is over here, so I figured he could make a better break for it if he was over here. So I swap him, and then instead of running away, he charges in and he uses up his ultimate. He didn't need to use up his ultimate. He could have just ran away. And then, so anyways, I'm getting away, obviously, and we're both getting away, and so that's all fine and dandy. But, we might have had another ally there who could have ran away and didn't and died. I don't know what happened. Maybe that was Pudge. I'm not sure. But, at this point, me and Pudge get into a big argument, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm like reporting and muting you. Well, I didn't tell him I was reporting him, but I did. And anyways, and I told my allies I was muting him because it's just a distraction having me and Pudge argue all game. But anyways, Pudge was really bad and extremely bad-mannered. But the rest of my allies were just kind of shutting up and listening to me, I guess. Except for maybe Magnus, he might have muted me and didn't say that he was doing it, because he was kind of an idiot and not paying attention to anything I said pretty much the whole game. But I'm pretty sure Pudge did not mute me, but I can't be absolutely certain. Anyways, yeah, but none of them said anything for the most part. Every once in a while, I'd see Kunkka pinging or Skeleton King drawing stuff on the map or whatever between the two of them. They would communicate minor things, but they didn't really type or use voice chat for the most part. They just kind of listened to me take control, which was fine, I suppose. They focused on their game. But Pudge was really annoying, so I had to mute him. Like, normally, if you want to communicate, that's fine, but don't do it in a bad-mannered way. Now this fight, I ended up kind of messing up because I got stuck in Void's ultimate. I had Manta. I could have tricked him into freezing my illusion, but I didn't. I settled for just doing what I did, which was practically nothing. But I did still do pretty good, but not good enough to stop Void from getting his triple kill, and then Pudge, of course, foolishly got a multi-kill, although it was an easy hook. He didn't do it right, and he got pwned. So now this guy's got a Majolner, and he's gonna have an Aegis pretty soon. Unless Roche proves to be more than a match for him, which he does. So he runs away. Now Crystal is actually a pretty effective jungler because her Frostbite's pretty strong against creeps because they can't do anything, right? Keep that in mind. She's a really good hero. Like, she's not the support that people make her out to be. She's really strong, especially with the new patch. Instead of 0.5, 1, 1.5, and 2 mana regen bonus, it's going to be doubled that for her. Of course, it gives that to all the friendly units, but for her, it's double that. So that's nice. Anyway, we decided, you know, Roshan's half health, let's go ahead and finish him off. But that might not have been the best choice, but it worked out okay in the end. But, like I was going to say, maybe Skeleton King should have taken the Aegis. It's always nice on that hero. But anyways, I got the Aegis, and I got Manta Style, and I'm going for an Iascati. playing her like I would Soul Keeper. And you just put out a lot of damage, just don't let them run away. I figure nobody else on my team's gonna get an Ice God, and even if they did, they're probably just gonna die. So I might as well get one. And this was a fight where we could have had a really nice gank on them, having that high ground advantage, but it was too risky because there weren't enough of us. We didn't converge on that spot quickly enough, so we didn't go for it. Now, this is funny, I keep walking into his ultimate. That's not the first and it's not the last time that happens, I believe. Well, I'm not entirely sure. It might have been the first time. But it definitely wasn't the last time. Because I keep thinking that my stun is long enough range to hit him, and it isn't. And that's why I kept walking into it. So be careful about that. If you're not going to get an Ethereal Blade in your Vengeful Spirit, forget about trying to stun him when he's getting his ultimate, I guess, is the moral of the story. Because your stun range is just too short. That sphere is way too big compared to your stun range, unfortunately. But anyways, so yeah, I lose my Aegis, mostly because I ended up walking into that and couldn't put out enough damage while his ultimate was going. But then I stock up on a couple ultimate orbs. And pretty soon I'll have a Scotty. I have Scotty, so that's good. Now he's got Critical Strike, and not much else, besides the Mjolnir, which we already saw. Now what's Ogre Magi got? Oh, this is not the way I would play him. He's got Agni Scepter and Arcane Boots, which is okay. That's what a lot of people like getting. But I would prefer to delay the Agni Scepter until late game. And not get Arcane Boots at all. I'd go Power Treads. Now see, for what I was doing here, I would be like a super late Aghanim. This is kind of the same deal what I'd do with Ogre Magi. I don't always do it this way with Vengeful Spirit though. Sometimes I'll get Aghanim Scepter earlier. But, you know, we were both solo mid. Kind of when you're solo mid, you have a big responsibility to your team to make good advantage of that golden experience gain. Now let's take a look at the scores. We're about even, right? 32 to 32. Let's pause this before any more people die. Magnus, 3, 10, 12. So that's a team contribution of 5. So he's improved. Skeleton King, 9, 5, 11, 15 is his team contribution. Pudge, 386, so his team contribution is 1. Okay. My team contribution 11 to 8, so 17. And then Kunkka 3. So same as before. You know, who's doing good when things started turning around for us, that it was. But just the numbers are much higher. And that's good because we're all showing greater teamwork, but that's mostly just because we're doing well as a team, right? Before we were on the verge of losing, really. We had lost this tower, and this one was going to be next, right? And then they could have taken it to our last building if they wanted to. We were doing that badly enough, but the Skeleton King and I repulsed them, and now as a team we're doing more of that. Like he has 15 and I have 17 points, and the rest of us are no longer negative, so that's good. Now what about their team? It's Crystal. She's got 2, 7, and 7, so her total is 2. Ogre Magi, 11, 5, 10, so his total is what, 17, so right about the same as me. And then wait, no, that can't be right. I think his is like 16. Well, anyway, yeah, it's pretty high. Yes, 16. So, and then Drow Ranger, 5, 10, 12. So she's like 7. Tidehunter, 4, 6, 17. He's like 15 or so. And then Faceless Void, he's like 12, right? So their scores are actually not as high as ours for teamwork. Or at least not as high as mine and Skeleton Kings, right? Like only overall. But do consider that, you know, Pudge only had 1 point. But anyways, I mean, our teamwork has paid off, and because of that, we were able to take these Raxes down. Plus, you know, she's got so much power with the pushing with the vengeful spirits, Vengeance Aura. People really underestimate that, and they say, "Oh, she's a support hero." She's not at all. She's definitely not a support hero. Anyways, not if support means buy wards and die. So, continuing on, Pudge dies, of course, as usual. Ogre Magi dies, unfortunately, and then I get stuck in his ultimate and I die. And then he gets away. Oh, but he almost gets away. But then he buys back into the game. So he's the same items he had just a little bit ago. So he hasn't spent his gold all that well. Now what I would like with Ogre Magi is get a Necronomicon. That's so much DPS. It's great. You don't have to worry about running out of mana so much. After you get that, you can get whatever you want. You can get a Basher, you can get a Scepter, or whatever. But get something more useful first. See, now I'm level 22. I've got my level 3 ultimate. I can swap her from pretty far away. It's really handy. Oh, and here's another good scene. I believe I end up dying again. Void comes in out of nowhere, right? And he's smacking me. And everyone else got trapped in it too, pretty much. At this point, I tell them, you gotta not stand so close to me, because then we're all gonna get stuck in that. Because he mostly just wants to ultimate me. So they took that under advisement, and but they've got like a 4-kill lead on us right now. But they're behind on creeps, obviously, because they lost their Rax. So they're gonna have to make up for that. And we make a great kill on him. But he's just too squishy, that Void. He's got like plus what, 14 strength, that's it. It's mostly from attributes and his power treads. That's about it, right? So I'm finally revived. I'm coming to the fight. So I've had my Scotty by now. I decided to get a chainmail. That's about all the gold I had left, just to buy that, because I figured a little extra armor, maybe I'll survive his ultimate. I don't know if it would have made a difference or not, and at the time I obviously totally didn't, but figured it wouldn't hurt. Because now his time lock, it'll do 140 damage in his ultimate, instead of just 70. So I start popping mantas just to get them to waste spells on them. So I did use up a frostbite and a gush. Set burns away a little manta, but I mean mana. Ideally, though, I would have had Diffusal Blade, but I knew that Diffusal Blade would neither give me enough durability to carry this team, but it also just wouldn't slow down my opponents enough, reliably enough. I mean, obviously Diffusal Blade has a great active, but you only have so many charges of it. Anyway, I definitely needed that extra strength and health. Diffusal Blade, if you need to be tanky, can just be a totally wasted item slot. So this guy comes out of nowhere and stuns me. And I might have been able to fight off all 3 of them, but I totally wasn't sure. Especially not with Void being revived. He could have come in there and fought me while I was fighting those three. And that could have turned out really ugly. So I blinked onto the running away drow from really far away, and of course my range for my stun was not the kind of thing where I could finish her off. And then I just ran away after that. And I scolded Kunkka for not coming in with me. I told him, hey, I'm not invincible, I'm just tough. And then Faceless Void gets even more damage, which is going to prove to be his undoing, not getting beefy enough. Maybe if he'd got a lifesteal, like a Helm of the Dominator, that could give him some extra damage and some armor. But no, he didn't want a Helm of the Dominator, he'd rather have a Demon Edge. So that's what he bought. And now, the game's about to end. I told Skeleton King I was going to swap Void. And then he stuns Void and starts whacking on him, and I think I stunned him too. And then Pudge hooks him. Boom! And they lost Void again. And he doesn't have gold for buyback now. Bought that really expensive Demon Edge, which didn't even help him in that fight. Because he got pretty much stunned to death. And although they had more kills than us at that point, it wasn't good enough. You gotta have teamwork, and that's why I love Aura heroes. It's not just her, Skeleton King too. He's got a great aura of Vampiric Aura. So all these melee strength heroes are all gonna be gaining life when they attack. So I don't think Pudge really took advantage of that. Like he could have had a Maelstrom of his own, but he didn't. But even Magnus, I don't think he was ever using his Empower. Look, his hero's not empowered. Skeleton King's not empowered. My hero's not empowered. Okay, now he's empowered, huh? Or no, he wasn't. That was something else. But anyways, this guy was a total idiot and a slob. Don't do like him. You gotta empower your allies.